Donald Trump's love life, all the relationships, the marriages, the flings, the whole 9 yards.
It's more than 9 yards. It's a whole stadium.
Uh-huh, that's a good one.
Oh.
But really, though, it's fascinating how his personal life is so intertwined with his public image and his business dealings.
Absolutely. It's all connected and you can't really understand one without the other.
Exactly. So to guide us through this deep dive, we're using an article from the Irish Star.
Oh, this is going to be good.
It's packed with details about all the women who've been part of Trump's world model. Athletes, beauty queens, you name it.
The Irish Star always has the best gossip.
Haha. Well, let's not call it gossip. Let's just say they have a knack for digging up interesting details.
Fair enough. I'm ready when you are.
Okay, let's start at the beginning with Ivana Zelnikova, Trump's first wife.
Ah, Ivana. She was quite the character.
She was a Czech model and athlete. They met in the 70s and had this whirlwind romance.
They were the it couple back then, always in the tabloids.
And of course, their wedding was lavish and over the top, just like everything else Trump does.
And let's not forget the prenup.
Oh yeah, the prenup that's become pretty legendary. It reportedly said that Ivana would get $20,000 a year for every year they were married.
Talk about power dynamics right from the start.
Right. And the article even mentions that Trump wanted 5 kids.
5.
Apparently he was quoted saying he wanted to make sure at least one turned out like him.
Well, that's something, isn't it?
Yeah, it makes you think about the kind of pressure he puts on his children.
Definitely a lot to unpack there.
So they ended up having 3 children together, Donald Jr., Ivanka, and Eric. But the marriage didn't last.
15 years is a decent run, though, considering.
True, but they ended up splitting amidst rumors that Trump was having an affair with Marla Maples.
Ah, Marla, the former beauty queen.
That whole scandal really rocked Trump's public image.
It was all over the news. Everyone was talking about it.
And it wasn't just gossip. It actually impacted his business dealings.
Oh, yeah, for sure. People were questioning his character, his judgment.
It really shaped public perception of him.
Absolutely. It's hard to come back from that kind of scandal.
And what's even crazier is that Trump and Marla got married just 2 months after their daughter Tiffany was born.
Oh, wow. I'd forgotten about that.
Talk about a whirlwind. And their marriage lasted for 6 years, during which Marla even co-hosted the Miss Universe pageant with Trump.
That must have been interesting, to say the least.
Makes you wonder what their dynamic was like behind the scenes.
Definitely a story for another time, maybe.
Haha, for sure. Okay, so that brings us to wife number 3, Melania Trump.
Melania, the current Mrs. Trump.
She's a Slovenian model, and get this, they met at a Fashion Week party while he was on a date with someone else.
Wait, he was on a date with someone else?
Yep, the article even says he sent his date to the bathroom so he could chat up Melania.
Oh, Trump, that sounds about right.
Bold move, Randy. And Melania herself is quite accomplished. She speaks 6 languages.
Wow, 6?
Yeah, she's got her own fashion line.
Right.
And she's the mother of Barron Trump, who was born in 2006.
She's definitely a force to be reckoned with.
Absolutely. But hold on tight, because the article doesn't stop there.
There's more.
Oh yeah, there are a bunch of other women Trump has been linked to over the years.
This is gonna be good.
Athletes, model socialites, even a future first lady.
Wow. This just keeps getting more and more interesting.
So buckle up, because we're about to dive into some of these other notable relationships.
I'm ready. Hit me with it.
Okay, first up we have Gabriela Sabatini.
Oh, the tennis star.
Yeah, exactly. They reportedly had a little fling back when Trump was, well, taking a break from Marla.
It's funny how he seems to always have someone on the side.
Right. Always keeping things interesting, I guess.
Well, it definitely makes for good headlines.
Speaking of headlines, our next connection is Rowan Brewer Lane.
That name rings a bell.
She met Trump at one of his pool parties, and apparently he was quite smitten with her.
Pool parties, huh? Sounds like Trump's scene.
The article says he even called her a stunning Trump girl.
Classic Trump, always with the compliments.
All right, get ready for this one. Carla Bruni.
Wait, Carla Bruni, the First Lady of France?
The one and only.
You're kidding?
Nope, the article claims they dated after she broke up with Mick Jagger.
And while he was still with Marla?
Apparently so.
This is getting juicy.
Carla Bruni has denied it, though.
Of course she would.
But Trump has told a different story. He even hinted that she was trying to get him to leave Marla.
This is like a soap opera.
I know, right? All right, moving on. We have someone a little different, Allison Gianni.
I don't recognize that name.
She's not famous. She went on a blind date with Trump during his separation from Marla.
A blind date? That's unexpected.
It is, and what's even more surprising is that she described him as a great guy.
Really? After everything we've heard.
I know it's hard to believe, but hey, maybe he's got a softer side.
Maybe. So everyone has their good qualities.
Okay, now for someone who's a bit more high profile, Jackie Siegel.
The Queen of Versailles.
That's her. They went on a few dates and even attended some swanky events together back in the late 90s.
Jackie Siegel is definitely someone who fits into Trump's world.
And get this, despite their brief fling, they stayed friends.
Really? That's interesting.
Yeah, and Jackie even supported Trump during his presidential run.
Wow, small world.
Last but not least, we have Kari Young.
Another name I don't know.
She was a supermodel who was engaged to a gossip columnist when she got involved with Trump.
Oh boy, this sounds messy.
It gets even messier. Apparently, there's audio of her calling into Howard Stern's show to talk about it.
After Trump had been on the show himself.
Yep, talk about drama.
This is unbelievable.
So there you have it. A whirlwind tour of some of Trump's other notable relationships.
Wow, that was a lot to take in.
I know, right? But we're not done yet. There are still a couple more connections to explore.
Bring it on. I'm ready for more.
Okay, so we're back and ready to wrap up our look at some of the more interesting relationships in Trump's life.
Yeah, these last two really highlight a different side of his social circles.
You know, not just the models and the celebrities, but connections that reach into different areas.
I mean, it's really fascinating to see how his network extends beyond just those typical circles.
So first up, let's talk about Allison Gianni.
Giannini. I don't think I'm familiar with her.
She wasn't a big name or anything. The article says she went on a blind date with Trump.
A blind date? Really? That's so...
Yeah, back in 1997 when he was separated from Marla.
Wow, a blind date with Donald Trump. What a story.
It really shows you that there's a whole side to him we don't often see, right?
It's like getting a peek behind the curtain, the man behind the tycoon.
And what's really interesting is that even with all the rumors and controversies swirling around Trump at the time,
There were always rumors, it seems.
Allison described him as a great guy.
Wow, a great guy. That's not the picture we usually get.
Right. It makes you think maybe there's a disconnect between the public persona.
And the private man.
Exactly. Okay, so on to our last connection from the article. This one's a bit more high profile.
High profile, let's hear it.
Jackie Siegel, the Queen of Versailles.
Oh yeah, I know her from that documentary.
So apparently they had a little fling back in the late 90s, attending parties and events together.
That's kind of amazing to think about.
I know, right? And, you know, Jackie Siegel, she's someone who definitely fits into Trump's world in a way.
She seems to embody a lot of the qualities he's drawn to.
The wealth, the ambition, you know, the whole larger-than-life persona.
It's not just about looks with her, though. She's a successful businesswoman, too.
Exactly. And get this, even though they only dated for a short time,
They stayed friends.
yep, stayed friends, and Jackie was even a vocal supporter of Trump during his 2016 presidential run.
Wow, that's something else.
I know it really shows you that Trump values loyalty and connections even years down the line.
Well, we've certainly covered a lot of ground today, haven't we?
We have gone through a whirlwind of relationships, marriages, flings, rumors, you name it.
It's really fascinating to see how Trump's personal life has been so intertwined with his public image.
And I think what's really come out of this deep dive is that there's so much more to the man than meets the eye.
There are layers upon layers, and it makes you wonder how all these relationships, all these experiences have shaped his worldview.
Right. And how they might have influenced his approach to leadership.
It's a question that's probably been debated by many and will continue to be.
For sure. But that's all the time we have for today's deep dive.
This was definitely a juicy one.
It was. So what do you think? Do you see connection between Trump's personal life and his political career? We'd love to hear your thoughts.
And be sure to join us next time as we delve into another fascinating topic.
Until then, thanks for listening.